All right, so thank you. I'm Levi, one of the co-founders of Newhouse. At Newhouse, we make inflatable art installations. So most people know about inflatables as either pool toys or bouncy castles, or maybe the other end of the spectrum is space like habitat or inflatable raft. We're somewhere in the middle. So I'm gonna be talking a lot about inflatables today. So why inflatables? Well, air is free. When we started, after we graduated, we had a couple jobs lined up, but it was a really scrappy beginning. So keeping costs low was a really big thing. And yeah, so installation is also really easy and manageable. You bring out the fabric, you anchor it down, and you turn on the switch, and in about a couple minutes you have a 40-foot dome, whereas if you're building with metal or wood, it can take days or weeks. So also the interior has a lot of nice qualities. So because air is see-through, you don't see the structure. The walls are sort of curvilinear. Also, if there's inflatable on like the ground level, it's nice and soft. So there's a lot of advantages in just the space itself. The material also comes with a lot of advantages. So this material we used was ripstop nylon with a metallized coating on it, and it just kind of, it looked like metal. It looked like this thing that was welded together. It cost $1 million, but it's just ripstop nylon. We also play with translucency a lot. So this project, we were looking at how red, blue, and green can combine to create the spectrum. So same thing as like your phone, you have the pixels are red, blue, and green, but it creates all the colors in the spectrum. So the color sort of comes through that fabric and is projected on the floor. From there, we sort of multiplied that cell, like 100 times, and then that color was then projected on the interior fabric, but you don't walk into the space. So we wanted to kind of focus more on those subtle colors that the red, blue, and green was creating. We also, the opposite of translucency, we focus on or have used fabric that is light blocking. So, we can really focus on the light that is coming through. In this project, we used fog to kind of pick up that light and created the light looked almost physical. And this project too uses light blocking fabric. But we used it to create 100 pinhole cameras or camera obscuras around a dome. So for those who don't know, camera obscura is the most basic camera. It's how a camera works. You have a tiny hole, and that's the only light that you let in, and it retains the image. So all of these images are live projections of the outside. And an interesting thing that happens with this is, since it's inflatable, you can kind of push in the wall and focus on different things that are different distances away. You can change the focal length. Similar to translucency, we also play with LEDs and how the fabric can kind of be a diffuser and create a nice glowing object. This piece was actually installed at Blink as well in Cincinnati, and has animations that bounce over it. Inflatables also, come with a fan and other things that you can kind of play with. So this piece is interactive, where when people sit on it, the pressure, since the pressure changes, the pressure is read by a sensor, and the sensor affects the LED. So there's a nice feedback. We also make everything in-house. So we're really inspired by fabrication techniques. So these are inspired by Zodiac boats. They're really durable. But larger than life things that kids can pick up and move around, but it's also durable enough for a dozen adults to sit on. This is one of the earlier projects we had where we weren't fabricating the airtight elements of it, but we bought these ship fenders that are for giant cargo ships, and we use them as columns to space out nets so that people could climb up and through, and people could sit on them, they could drum them. So yeah, we also, inflatables are a quick way to introduce something to the built environment. So this is a traveling giant poo emoji for the brand Poopery. We occasionally, will work with brands to create something Custom, yeah. Yeah, this piece also, kind of similar to the built environment. It was installed for a couple months in downtown Providence on a parking garage. And this is usually a parking garage that sort of just looks bland or whatever. But for a couple months had this, LED display on it and all that stuff. We also use other things to power the inflatable. So these are bike-powered generators that power the fans and the LEDs. So this installation will kind of undulate during the night as people are pedaling and not pedaling. We've also been inspired by bricks. So, how can an inflatable be a brick? How can we build like that? So we'll, came up with different ways to strap it and connect them. And it has its own unique properties that are a lot different than a brick building. Inflatables are a lot more than pool toys and space stations, but we're kind of working on those as well. Not actual space stations, but And then the last slide was just kind of a picture of a model. We're always tinkering around and building new things. So thank you very much.